Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you are. Mikey, OCD Mikey here with another edition of the Mikey Show and another message from the HiFi Tribe to all you music lovers out there in Cyberland. Anyways, today is going to be a pretty succinct. It's going to be a one of the old school. It's not really a rant, but I'm going to lay some truth down on you guys and gals, just so we can all ponder this whole music streamer, music. Look at that. See, I didn't even. Don't you guys love how I do this off the fly, man? That's how you know I'm not scripted, man. This is off the cuff, like I like to do it. Anyways, so music streamer. What is a music streamer thing? What is the importance of it? You know, there's so much hype around these music streamer things, okay, and music server things. And a lot of people call me and ask me, Mikey, what's up with music streamer servers? Like, explain to me this thing. What do you think of this deal? And what do you think of this one? And they're sending me links to $8,000, $10,000 computers, and let's simplify this for people so y'all understand. Okay, whatever you call the thing, okay, it's a source. Whether you call it streamer, server, renderer, there's different reasons for each one of them. Okay, but the bottom line is they're computers. Okay, they're nothing more. A music server is nothing more than a computer. Keep in mind, the hi-fi industry is an industry that is known for taking basic stuff. See, didn't even say the other word. Taking basic stuff and making it look like elaborate stuff. Taking a basic silly thing and dressing it up and trumping it up and putting bells and whistles on it and a bunch of Christmas ornaments and shiny stuff, making it shiny, and then raking you over the coals on it. Yep, raking over the coals. Someone said something about raking over the coals. Absolutely raking your ass over the coals, okay, on this shit. And it's nothing more than a computer. Here's a music server. I'm going to give you an example, okay? This is a Mikey music server. This is something I made 8 years ago, about 6 years ago. Maybe, yeah, 6 years ago. 6 or 8, I can't remember. I started making servers. I stopped making servers because they take too much support with people that don't know their head from a hole in the ground with network, and I became their network administrator. Bottom line is, look, I made this thing. What you see, this chassis right here, okay, and this is a great example of a chassis. Look at that faceplate. Look at the thickness of it. Look at the edges, the curvature of it. Okay, I took mine and polished it. So, and this is kind of smudged, but if I wiped it down and made it clean, it would be beautiful and polished. Okay, other people paint them or whatever. This is an HD Plex chassis from China. Okay, so there's some guys out there. There's a new fad out there, a new server with an L, comes from overseas, and people are saying, "Oh, what's this? What's this?" Because it's the new fad in the forums. Okay, it uses the same cheap ass chassis. I recognize it the second I saw that face. They put their logo in the top lid, which is wherever the top lid is. I could punch my logo out of this top plate if I wanted to. I could put a little backlit thing under it to make it look really special, just so I could charge you $8,000 for something that cost me $1,000 to make. Now, you can sit there and give me all this stuff about, oh, there's R&D and they have to pay the people at the factory and a bunch of shit. Whatever your excuse is for charging through the nose for this thing, I'm not listening, okay? Because all we're talking about is a damn computer. All this damn computer is being asked to do is to spit out. Should I calm down? I'm a little bit hyped up. All right, am I not? Maybe I should calm down so those that don't want to be intimidated by me don't get intimidated by me. Okay, so I'll chill out here. I'll take a chill pill. I'm starting to learn how to do that. So this is a damn computer. Okay, any server is just a damn computer. All you're asking that computer to do is spit out a bit stream of music. That is the simple, easiest thing you're ever going to ask a computer to do. Spit out music, okay? because that's all this does. No matter how big it is, no matter how grandiose the chassis is, if we make these heat sinks out of copper, we could do all that kind of stuff just so that we could charge 20 grand for it. But it's going to do the same basic function. It's going to have a damn motherboard. It's going to have a sound card. It's going to have a CPU. It's going to have memory sticks. And this one doesn't even have an optical drive. But that's all it is. That's all that makes this thing up. It's a damn regular computer. Now, I can make a pretty box. I can get these. Very few people are going to have their own motherboards made. Okay, that's another thing to keep in mind. If we look at even up to the highest extreme, that brand that starts with the T, the extreme, server, the most expensive one that everybody thinks is the best. It uses an Asus motherboard. Okay, just like this. Okay. And it's probably not the same exact model, but here's a motherboard. Okay, we can go to Newegg or out to Micro Center, and I can buy this thing. Okay, and I've got a ROG Strix. Okay, this is a Republic of Gamers, an Asus Strix motherboard. This is a bad daddy. Okay, and this one is shit. This is years old. I mean, this one isn't even new. I stopped right in the middle of my server building experiment, and I've got CPUs, I've got hard drives, I got all sorts of the shit stacked up in there to make these things, and I stopped making it. But these are, I mean, look at the caps. Oh, they got the special caps. They're gonna pitch you that, and all this kind of thing, and whatever. Okay, it's a damn computer. This motherboard was probably $200 because they've come up. So this motherboard was maybe 200, maybe 225. Then we got a CPU. So just like this, any computer, you're going to have a motherboard like that. You buy the motherboard, you buy the CPU for a couple more $100. This is an i7 core. We click that down into the socket, put the thing on. We have a SSD or a hard drive, which we load our image on the operating system for, and I'm not going to go into why I think Linux is the best, but you burn an image onto this thing, and then you just plug it into your motherboard, and bam, you've got a server. That's all it takes. And then you put it in a nice chassis like this. If you want to make it your own and personalize it, you can polish it the way I did to that front of that piece. It was all black, as you can see around the edge. I polished the front. You can do whatever you want with them. You can put your own backlit lights on the front. You can put your logo and make it look like it's like you did it all yourself, like it's some custom thing. Here's the SOTM, which you buy these guys just like in the boxes like this. Here's your sound card. This goes into the PCI slot. You just click that down into the motherboard. If your board is real slim, you put it sideways, and then you click one of these adapters into it. This thing just goes like that, clicks in wherever on the front or the back, and then goes down to the board. And then you got this that goes, so it allows you to put a PCI, which normally goes in this way. It allows you to put it in horizontally rather. And there's your damn computer streamer. These were like $200, 200. Everything we're looking at is a couple $100. Okay, so what do you want to pay for somebody? So you make these things for $1,000, let's say, if you do it on your own. Okay, so I understand paying $4 grand for something, in the used market, or I mean, in the open market. But once the people start charging 6, 8, 11, 12, now we're getting into hocus pocusville, okay? And again, this is my damn opinion. Take it for whatever it's worth. I might not know crap, right? I could be just talking out my butt, just like any other bozo on YouTube, right? So take it for what it's worth. Maybe I know nothing, right? But the bottom line is, I do know that music servers are computers. You can have them. See if I even have I've got them over there, but I'm not going to go dig for them. Here's another server that I made. Okay. So you could go get an Asus NUC. Okay. NUC, a NUC board. So this thing right here is a server. All you have to do is take one of these, burn your image, put it inside here, and it's plug and play. Okay. But this is going to be at a certain level because the USB is coming straight off the motherboard. So it's not going to be as quiet as if you put in a USB output card like this, which is going to be, whatever, galvanically isolated, and it's going to be more of an audiophile output rather than the output coming right off the motherboard, which is the noisy way to get USB off a board. And of course, there's different. You can have SPDIF outputs or XLR outputs. It's pretty simple to wire down to the motherboard. A lot of times has just a header. You plug in a little plug, and then you go up to an RCA, and you've got a SPDIF output. That's all it takes for some of these. So again, this is what you're looking at. The more that people start making, I mean, shit, there's a that ridiculous Wadax company that has like what $120,000 damn computer because it's in a big ugly box, you know, and that's supposed to. And again, my opinion, I think the shit's ugly. You know, take it for what it's worth. I should be able to say my opinion, shouldn't I? Yes. So $120,000 for a computer, really? NASA computers don't cost that much, and those things launch rockets, you know. But you're part of the elite, whatever. It's just ridiculousness. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about computers. They're not rocket science. It's not. It's spitting out a digital bit stream of music. There's nothing hard about that. Where the rubber meets the road is with the DAC. Okay, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. You can spend all the money you want on the damn server, but if you have a chintzy DAC, it's not going to convert it well. Okay. If you have a top of the line DAC, which I think the top of the line is reached at 24 grand, I do not think you can improve by paying more than $24,000. And I carry the $24,000 one because that's the Playback Designs MPD8. I think it's unbeatable. And of course, that's all. Yeah, I know it's all relative and it's subjective and all that kind of stuff. If you want hyper analytical schmutz, then buy it, you know, and have your bragging rights or whatever. But for me, that one is where it stops. MPD8, and put the money into the DAC, not into the streamer or the server. Now, the difference between a server and a streamer has no library of music in it. A server has your library of music in it. Typically, where the library resides is where Rune Core will be if you use Rune, which is a very resource-heavy software. I have alternatives, and I will be offering alternatives, and I will be showing you guys how to go ahead and just download these things off the internet, these complete operating systems, where you just go download them off the internet. They're much simpler than Rune. They don't beam back to the mothership. All this Rune is just weird, you know. I use it, but it is if the second that I figure out the best way to eliminate it, I will tell everybody, and we will eliminate Rune. So getting back to it, okay. There's no need to go deep on a streamer. Now, okay, you ask about my streamer. I have a streamer that's $11,000. Okay, so the reason it's 11 grand is it's part of the MPD8, or I'm sorry, it's part of the Playback Designs suite of products. So if it wasn't in that box, if it didn't have the elaborate optical output that it did, we could, you know, it would be maybe a $6,000 thing, right? So maybe it's double because we've got it and it's with a very elaborate power supply and a nice big box, but it matches my MPD8. My MPD8 was 24, so this is 11, so no big deal, okay? I'm going to use them together. I sell them together. So of course I'm going to use them, but before that, this was my server, okay? This is all it was. And it has a USB output card up here. And so which was the SOTM that I showed you guys. And that was fine. That would, if I took any other server, that thing was just as good. I compared it to some pretty solid brands. And so I just wanted to, I know this has been, I'm trying to cram a million things into 14 minutes, or I was trying to cram it into 7 minutes. That's why I'm going so fast. We're doubled up at 14. But the bottom line is this: spend 80% of your money on the DAC and 20%, whatever the budget is for the front end, okay? Spend 80% on the DAC, 20% on your streamer. The higher up you go with your DAC, the less important the streamer quality is, okay? I've done some videos in the past where I use $100 little ARM board Raspberry Pi streamers with my MPD8 DAC. and it is better than using a $20,000 streamer with a $4,000 DAC by far. And I've done these comparisons back and forth. So the main gist of this is to understand that servers are just computers. They're nothing more than that. They're very simple. They have a motherboard, a solid state drive, or a hard drive, whatever. They have a motherboard, a CPU, a hard drive, and memory, and that's it. Unless you want to put an optical drive to rip stuff, that's the only other thing you add. These are computer optical drives that are $20 or $50, no more than $100 for the drives if you get some super fast DVD, whatever, Blu-ray thing. So anyways, again, in typical fashion, it's trumped up to be more than what it really is. And the bottom line is it's just a computer, okay? So let's keep that in mind when you're shopping. I will have some solutions shortly that will be available on my website, on the 11 Stereo website, which, by the way, is right here. Go to 11 Stereo. If you haven't signed up for the channel, sign up for the channel and become part of the HiFi tribe. We are causing a shift and a rift in the hi-fi industry, and we will change the landscape of the hi-fi industry forever. So join now. Give the channel thumbs up. Send this to your friends. Send links. Let's bring more people into the tribe here. So anyways, thanks for joining. See you.